dashboard. And you can see now I've not actually added any sort of projects or domains to this this test account at the moment. So we're going to do this completely from scratch, and we're going to go and see what we can find. So I've recently just started joining the gym, need to lose a bit of the chubbiness. So I've been looking at gyms locally. So I thought that, let's pretend that I'm a gym owner and that that I'm trying to run a local gym, and I want to get more people into my gym, sort of thing. So I'm writing my website, putting it all together, and how do I make sure that what my messaging is correct? Am I actually targeting the right people? Am I actually saying the right things? Am I using the right words? That's what we really want to know. As I said before, we can just throw content down, but we never really know if it's, if our intention is exactly right. We're kind of a bit fluffy, and we throw down what we think is right, or we might go to ChatGPT and ask it to write some content for us. But we just need to make sure that we're getting it right sort of first off, really. So that's what we're doing. So at the minute, we're just going to sort of pop in a domain. So I just went online and I sort of found a local gym, which is great. So I'll have a little look at these, and I'm just going to use these as a case study. I have nothing to do with this gym. I've not joined this gym or anything like that. So this is purely just like, let's have a look at their website and work out what it is they're trying to sort of tell me on the website. So obviously I can look at it and go, yeah, there's no joining fee. It's got a limited offer. Well, how long's the limited offer for? I don't really know that. So, there's a few there. Approach, what the equipment they've got, classes, various bits and pieces. Nice imagery and bits and pieces. And it looks like they've got some local gyms sort of dotted around. So it looks like a bit of a franchise or something. So we got 5 different areas, that I could visit. Now, I don't know whether I can visit those all of those gyms in one subscription, or that's just one gym at a time sort of thing. So we don't really know. Is it a 24/7 gym? Is it? I don't really know. There's not a lot of content on this page to really help me sort of maybe reach my target audience. Now, if I was to go into Google and type in sort of local gyms, it will probably come up with your local leisure centre, because it's my local area. It will probably come up with lots of the mainstream sort of gyms that are available around the area, but it's not coming up with this one. And I managed to get this one through sort of drilling down even further, trying to find different local companies, and I had to do a lot of work to find them. So in that sort of sense, we need to sort of look at, assuming obviously this isn't my company or anything like that. So we're just using this as a case study. So sorry to Pure Gyms if Pump Gym, sorry, if this is the case. But anyway, so so let's have a little look. So that's what we got on the website. That's what we're seeing initially. So I'm just going to take their URL and I'm going to assume that it's my company. So I'm going to go into the domain. I'm going to add that in there. So that's, that's Pump Gyms, and we just want to put in something in Pump Gym. There you go. So we've got that in there. So that's now created that project for us. Now, other things that you can do with this. So I'll just go back in here again. If you want to add additional domains, then you just come into this page, and then you've got all of the information here, and you can just add another domain. So just click in here, you can add the domain. So that's that. You can also click in these tools here. So you've got projects, which is where your domains are. So you can go and get to that quite quickly and easily, and go and add your project. So that's all great. The other tools are in here as well, but they're also kind of featured on the dashboard as well. So we'll go back to the dashboard. So in this particular one, I've already added the website tracking, but I'm just going to show you how that works. So we go to the, actually, let's just go to the dashboard and read the cards. So this is website tracking, which is to track visitor behavior and analytics with comprehensive monitoring. So you can monitor your visitor behavior, track conversions, and analyze your engagement with comprehensive website analysis, blah, blah, blah. So basically it just means that I'm recording, or you can record. If you choose to, you don't have to do this. It's not a sort of make or break using the tool, but it does give you sort of things like bounce rates and click-through rates and stuff like that. So which is really good to track a little bit more about how your pages are performing, but that's totally optional if you want to do that. So I'll just go into this so I can show you how this works. So website tracking, I've got this one that's listed here. We can flush the data. Now this has not been added at all because I don't have access to the actual website source code itself. I can't physically add this in. So we're just doing this sort of very hypothetical at the moment. So what we need to do then is we can actually look in here. We can look at the code. Here's a sort of a tracking snippet that you can upload into the head of your website. We give you a few installation instructions, the tracking code and how to verify, blah, blah, blah. So it's all in there to get you going. So that's fine. So back to the dashboard. So we've added our project, which we've got here. So this is our project we've done, and we've added website tracking. Again, remember, website tracking is not necessarily needed, but it's something that we've just added it in, so that's fine. So let's get to the nuts and bolts of it, and let's just do some sort of URL analysis on this particular company. So from the dashboard, you can obviously see that I've gone through website tracking, I've gone through projects, and again, the website tracking isn't sort of, you don't have to do it. It just gives you a few more sort of insights when you do want to look a bit deeper about your web page. And so let's look at the URL analysis. So let's actually look at the main landing page for this Pump Gym's website. So we're going to go in here and let's do a new analysis and go here. And all we need to do is type the URL in here. Now, if this was a blog post, you would put the full blog post URL in there and it would analyze that particular blog post. Or if it was another page, a features page or something like that on your website, something you really wanted to create a decent landing page for or decent sort of content for, then you just put that URL in there. And there you go. And you can later, if you've added, say, 3 domains into your account or 3 projects, then you can filter these afterwards and make sure they're all grouped together so you don't get a whole mess of things. But anyway, so we'll go in here and we'll click Get Started. So all this is going to do is going to go through and it's going to fetch the content. It's going to do a bit of a content analysis on there. So go and have a look about the sort of understanding your intent, your audience, and the content structure. Going to look at your SEO keyword analysis. So we're going to extract your current keywords and go through. There's a whole host of things it's going to go through to try and work out what your page is trying to tell people. And so, so we're going to here, we've got a bit of an image on here. It's pulled in the actual website so we can see what's going on as a bit of a reference. We don't need to have that. We can open it in a new tab, but it just gives us a bit of a reference of what's going on. So looking at this sort of the general overview, so we've got a website overview here. So it gives us the title, the general description of what it does, and gives us a sort of a content analysis overview up here, which is great. The number of words on the page, etc. So there's quite a lot of information there that's giving us, just from the bat, but we can go much deeper than that. And this is what the platform was initially pulled out just from looking at that one page. So we can see that what's the primary intent for this page is to drive gym memberships. That's pretty obvious what they're going to do, but some people get it wrong. It could be to drive not gym memberships, but you could join sort of like monthly club versions, or it could be join a different type of gym sessions. It could be maybe just for the classes, so we don't know exactly, but just looking at this, it's pretty accurate here that this is drive gym membership, which is obviously what people want to do on this website. But so the website focuses heavily on promoting its no joining fee offer, 24/7 accessibility and various amenities to attract potential gym members. Multiple calls to action. Join now reinforce this primary goal. So that's why it sort of looked at that. So the join now is obviously the primary intent is to drive gym membership, So we scroll down here. We've got our secondary intent is to generate leads, is what they're trying to do. And we increase brand awareness is obviously what they're trying to do. So down the bottom here, we've got a bit that says, does this match your intention? So your intent, yes, it matches, or no, it doesn't. It's not quite right. And we can make sort of changes to it, or we can go further when we're ready to do that. So we've got this now. We just want to go through these tabs across the top here. So you can use these buttons here or just click along. So let's look at what the tool has brought out in terms of what's the audience. So the target audience analysis, so we can look, so it's health conscious individuals seeking affordable and accessible fitness options. So that's great. That sounds pretty cool. So the demographics 18 to 55, professionals and families. Yeah, it's quite generic really for what it's pulled out there, which is fine. Audience characteristics, so beginner to immediate level fitness. Finding a convenient and budget friendly gym. So that's kind of what it's sort of doing. So let's look at the pain points for the target audience. So pain points for a gym normally is high gym membership fees. So we've managed to sort of work that out. Inconvenient gym hours. Well, it's just 24/7. So that means that, it's not inconvenient gym hours. So that's good. So it solves that pain point. Lack of accessible fitness options as well as another pain point. So that he's trying to resolve. So if that matches with what you're trying to say or what this company is trying to say, then that's great. We can then just move forward. But at least this is giving you, it doesn't matter if you use the tool and you go, yeah, that matches exactly what it is I'm trying to do. That's great. You've nailed it and you've got it right, and you're focused on what your sort of intentions are and your messaging is, which is perfect. But we can go further with that and help you with other sort of ideas and optimizations and changes. So it's not all about, is this right, is this wrong? It's about what else we can do for you to sort of improve your content on your website. So we can then look at the content on here. So content analysis. I mean, this is the general, but in the actual report, we get a lot deeper and give you a lot more information than this. So this is just like an overview of what we kind of pulled out. So it's a promotional website. It's enthusiastic and persuasive. The structure is simple, straightforward layout with clear sections for features, locations, and calls to action. So that's really good. Just a traditional HTML website. So it's not a sort of a single page kind of React style website or anything like that. So that's great. Key topics that it covers, it's a 24-hour gym, there's no joining fee, it's affordable gym membership, state-of-the-art equipment, and it does fitness classes. So it's really, it's pulled out a lot of information here that's pretty accurate for that one page. So if you imagine if you're doing this on lots of different URLs, you can really sort of work out if your messaging is perfectly right, if it is exactly what you're trying to say. So we've got our calls to action. So join now, join your local gym here today. So that's what they're saying. I did notice that they got join now, and on the website, I think I saw it said limited offer, but I don't really see, well, how long's that limited for? Is it a time limited offer? Is it a limited price? I don't really know. I don't know what they're trying to sort of tell me exactly there. So I'd have to sort of dig deeper to get that information. So they could make probably some changes there to help themselves and sort of strengthen their call to action. So that's quite interesting. So let's see what else it says. So site structure analysis. So yes, they got robots text is found, which is great. And the sitemap has been found as well. Now there's no LLM text file in here yet. So this is something that they could do to improve themselves with sort of local searches with regards to the AI and the way that sort of the AI visibility is going at the moment. So that's an improvement that they could make there. So we need to look at that at some stage. So the keywords. So current keywords. So let's have a look at what it's pulling out for their keywords. It's saying there's a primary keywords. We got their secondary keywords that we seem to have pulled out. So it's got locations as keywords. Suggested keywords. So gym near me, cheap gym, 24-hour fitness, and fitness classes. So there's some suggested long tail, short tail keywords, and some suggested long tail keywords, that it's try to find out, best fitness classes in location. So, have they got pages on their website that really sort of target each of these locations? We can have a little look at that and see how that kind of works. And do they need to change the call to action to make that work? We don't know. So we look at the SEO. This is a sort of a basic SEO sort of analysis, which is the keyword density, so 3.5%, which is okay. It's a little high, but it's good. So anything around about sort of 2% ish. Is normally sort of considered good with regards to not sort of keyword stuffing and things like that. So this is good. The title it's good, includes the primary keywords, so that's all fine. Blah blah blah. So the meta description, yes, and that works really well as well. So we've got all that down. Then we can look at competitors. So are there any competitors who are pump gyms actually competing against, and if you're putting in your website, you want to go, well, who am I competing against? We often sort of hone in on one or two competitors when we're trying to sort of look at our target audience and who we're trying to speak and reach out to. But sometimes we miss competitors. We don't realize there are other options out there that might be getting better traffic, might be getting, they're getting customers. So, who are they? So we try to pull out a few extra ones if we can. It's not a definitive number. It's whatever we can sort of find when we're doing the sort of extraction and working things out. So it's pulled up Pool Gym, Anytime Fitness, the Gym Group, David Lloyd Clubs, and Nuffield House. So it's brought these particular ones out. This is the competitors. So if I was Pure Gyms, I would be Pump Gyms. I would be looking at each of these competitors and seeing how we compete against them. What are they doing that's getting people to their gym that we're not, sort of thing. So where can we make changes? So having a bit of a sort of a competitive landscape is really, really helpful. So that's great. And then we can have a little look at similar sites as well. So we might pull up other similar sites that it's found. So Snap Fitness is another one it seems to have pulled up. And these two we've already pulled up in the competitors, but they got very similar looking sites, similar sort of things going on there. So anyway, so let's just go to the assumption at the minute that, yeah, that's great. Everything matches. We're really, really happy. If we weren't happy with what the analysis has pulled out and we think, oh God, what I think I'm actually sort of trying to do, who I'm trying to target is right, but it's not actually, the report's telling me something completely different, which means I need to make some changes. So we would then click on no, that's not right. And there's a little bit of a form to fill in where you can change various sort of settings on the page. And then we'll then sort of provide some optimizations by that. But let's just, for this example, let's just assume that yes, it's pretty good. We're pretty accurate, you know. So we're going to go, yes, this matches. And then, so we click that button there, and then where we'll go here is, right, so you're on track, or can we make it even better? What more can we do for you to make your content even greater? Give you some suggestions. What can you fix, or what can you change? So, if you're on track, it's great. You just go straight to the dashboard by clicking here, and then that will just take you to there. But I really want to show you about creating more sort of optimization opportunities and see what we can pull out for you, you know. So, a bit of fine tuning, if you like. So we're going to click here now, and we're going to let that run, and we're going to see, so we're going to do sort of intent comparison, alignment scoring, generate recommendations, and do some sort of strategic insights as well. So so it really sort of drills down a lot deeper into your content that we've pulled from your page, and trying to see what else we could do to help you to make sure that you've got more sort of visibility online, you know, get more customers. The idea really is the biggest problem with marketing is getting eyes to your website. And by having the content that's sort of, you know, developed with real intention of exactly who your customer is and who you're trying to speak to, really helps you with basically making sales. You know, you don't want to miss those opportunities. What you want to do is actually speak to your audience with intention, and that's what this whole website's all about. It's about that side of things, you know. So we've got that, you know, we're saying that we've completed our analysis, and let's go to report. Let's see what the actual report says. Now the report will be pretty in depth. There will be a lot of information in there. So we go back to our URL analysis page here, and then we just go to view all, and we can see we've got that in there. So this is our report. So this is where all of our reports will appear. Everything will appear as it comes through. As you saw, all your URLs and bits and pieces. If you wanted to group these, if you turned into a bit of a mess and you've got a whole load of things in there, you can sort the columns by dates and things like that. And we can sort of, you know, group them by our sort of domain area sort of thing. So that's great. So, and if you want to start a new analysis on maybe one of your sort of other pages, like this particular one, they might want to focus on Northamptonshire or Bedfordshire or Oxfordshire or wherever they are. You know, they could focus and drill down more onto those pages. So instead of having one generic page for each of those sort of areas, they may decide that they want to really focus on the local areas a bit more, about what's available in the area, you know, how you know, Pump Gyms fits within your local community or whatever. They could really sort of, you know, go to town on some content there, which would be really, really good. So anyway, so we're just having a little look through this now. This is great. So if we click on this button, this will give us sort of run the analysis again. If we decide to do that, we can delete this analysis, or we can you know, view it. So we're just going to view this analysis report now.